Hello, thank you all for joining the Keep Kern Beautiful Committee meeting on today, Wednesday, October 19th at 2 p.m. We are going to call to order the meeting at 2:03. I'd like to welcome all the committee members on the call, as well as Kern County Public Works staff, County Council, and guests. We'll go ahead and move on to item number 2, roll call. When you hear your name, please let me know you're in attendance. Daniel Harrison. Karen Sanders.
Here.
Thank you. Linda Martin.
Present.
Thank you. Gary Ananian.
Present.
Thank you. Brian Duhart. David Cadell. Steve Kinsey. Christopher McGehee. Okay, we have 3 committee members present from 3 separate districts, so a quorum has been met to move forward with today's meeting. Okay, now I'd like to move on to item number 3 on the agenda, the approval of the resolution for Keep Kern Beautiful Committee to hold remote meetings. A copy of resolution number 2022/009 was forwarded to the committee with a copy to refer to. So this is a resolution of the Keep Kern Beautiful Committee authorizing remote teleconference meetings of the Keep Kern Beautiful Committee for the period of October 2nd, 2022 through October 31st, 2022, pursuant to the Ralph M. Brown Act. May I get a motion to approve item number 3?
Motion to approve Sanders.
Thank you. May I get a second?
I'll second it.
Thank
Second
you.
it, Linda Martin.
Thank you, Linda. So all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay. Thank you. Any opposed? Okay, hearing none, the motion carries. Okay, moving on to item number 4 on the agenda, the approval of the meeting minutes from our August 17th meeting. When I sent out the notification, I did note that our September 21st meeting was canceled due to a quorum not being met. So therefore, we are approving the August 17th meeting minutes, which a copy of these were also sent with the invite. Do we have any questions from committee members or the public regarding the meeting minutes? Okay, hearing none, may I get a motion to approve the meeting minutes from August 17th, 2022?
Motion to approve Sanders.
Thank you. May I get a second?
I will second it. It's Gary.
Thank you, Gary. Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Okay, thank you. Any opposed? Okay, hearing none, and the motion carries. Okay, so now moving on to item number 5 of the agenda. So I know in the past couple of meetings we have discussed the fundraising opportunities and ideas with the committee. I believe as a committee we've come to the consensus that a sponsorship letter would be the best option for us to make that public on our website, on our social media, and then have each of the committee members reach out to their point of contact for sponsorship opportunities. I just wanted to bring it up to the committee one more time, hoping that more committee members would be on the call today to get some additional input before we move forward with that. Does anyone, Linda, Gary, or Karen, do you have any additional feedback you would like to introduce regarding this idea? Or if you're okay with us just moving forward with the sponsorship form or letter?
Hi, this is Karen. I think that's a good idea, and I don't really have any additional input for it.
Okay. Thank you. I know, Daniel Harrison, he did let me know that he couldn't make it to the meeting today, but he did offer his assistance in helping draft the letter. And I know, Linda, I believe you also provided some feedback on that. So, and then before our next committee meeting, I'm going to be working on drafting that, and I can also send it to some committee members for their input as well, so that we can have something closer to finalized, or at least a pretty good draft by our next meeting, so we can start getting on the ball for fundraising, and maybe we can even tie in like a holiday feel to that as well. Being around the holidays, maybe get creative with that, use that as a marketing tool. So if no other comments from the committee or the public, we can move on to item number 6, which will be a presentation by Karina Mendez on recent and upcoming community cleanup efforts.
Hi, can everyone hear me?
Yes.
Yes.
Hello? Oh, okay. Okay, so for our hazardous waste collection events, we have an upcoming event in Ridgecrest and Boron this weekend, the 22nd. On the 29th, we have one in Taft. November 5th will be in Mojave and Tehachapi. November 11th, Lebec. November 12th in Ridgecrest. For our bulky waste events, we just had a collection event in Bakersfield on the 8th at the Roberts Lane Yard, Kern Medical, and the fairgrounds. And we don't have tonnages from that yet, but we do have a total count of customers, and we had about 300. In Shafter, we had one just last weekend at the county administration building, and for that one, we had approximately 50 customers. I do know it was a pretty eventful day because American Refuse was also giving out compost, and Linda, if you want to chime in there, I forgot the pistachio trees, I believe.
Yeah, so we had a joint event
And
where we
then-
had the compost giveaway and then the nutless pistachio trees, where we partnered with
There we go.
Women's Club,
Okay.
Kern Tree, and you guys.
Right. So we did have a lot of traffic there, a lot of people interested in participating in everything. And then we do have another bulky waste event. It'll be our last one for the year in Rosamond on November 5th at the WMI offices, Waste Management Inc. offices at 1731 Sierra Highway. We will be partnering with Cesar Chavez Environmental Corps again as well to accept tires and electronic waste. So for our bulky waste program, we've actually had 13 events so far with more than 72 tons collected. Once we get the Bakersfield and Shafter numbers in there, we'll hopefully be able to update you guys on that at the November meeting. And that's everything from me, Alicia.
Great, thank you, Karina. Any additional questions from the committee or members of the public for Karina before we move forward? Okay, hearing none, we will go ahead and move on to item number 7. If any of the committee members have any announcements or reports to make just on past cleanups. For example, I know Karen Sanders, you did provide me a follow-up cleanup information for your recent event in California City. I was going to share that at our last meeting, but since we had to cancel it, would you mind just providing an update on that? And then after Karen, Linda can go.
Sure, I'm happy to. I think, that was it was in September, but I think we had about, I want to say 32 people who showed up. Please correct me if I'm wrong. I don't remember the exact numbers. and I believe we collected about 3 tons of trash. Do those figures jive with what I sent you?
Yeah,
Okay, yeah.
yes,
We
those,
had-
mhm.
Go ahead.
Oh, no, yes, those numbers do match what you provided. And you were able to jump off the trash at a nearby disposal site, okay? Did that end up working for you?
Yes, it ended up working fine. Waste Management, the company, provided a roll-off dumpster, and we had it delivered to the Chamber of Commerce building in California City, and they picked it up and disposed of it.
Very nice.
So naturally, we would have wanted more people to attend, but there were conflicting events that day, so we felt pretty fortunate that we had that many people show up.
Yeah, I agree. That's a good number. 30 volunteers.
Sure.
Thank you, Karen.
Yes.
Linda, would you like to share?
Yeah, I just wanted to, I just spoke about our bulk item compost and tree giveaway we had in chapter last week. We were really happy with the participants with compost. Coming up in November, I believe it's around the 19th, we're going to be partnering with Wasco Code Enforcement to do a community cleanup. I don't know if it will include graffiti yet, but it might be possible. I will keep everyone in the loop as we move forward if there's anyone that wants to help out. Another thing that happened in Shafter is a church was vandalized. Unfortunately, a lot of the community members came together to do a cleanup, but going forward, there might be an opportunity to help get the church back in order because they took paint and put it on the pews. A lot of things had to be thrown away. They put paint on the walls, so it might be an opportunity to get community members together and repaint the building, but I'll keep everyone in the loop on that. And that's all I have for right now.
Okay, yeah, that's unfortunate to hear about that vandalism. Thank you for sharing, Linda. Yes, please keep us posted. Gary, I know you had your Great California cleanup happen in October as well. No, I believe it was in September. Is that right?
Yeah, it was in September.
How did that go?
It went by great. We had about 100 volunteers show up for that. This was our record lowest trash pull we've ever had. I think we were just under 500 pounds total for the whole day.
Okay, well, that's maybe a good thing. Maybe less litter in the area. You guys are cleaning up a lot out there.
Well, when we first started, we were pulling 5 figures, 10, 12, 13,000 pounds each time. And then over the years, it's dropped and dropped. And so I think the last one we had before COVID was, I think we had pulled 2,000 or 3,000 pounds. And then this year we pulled less than 500.
I see. So what you're saying is you still feel like the trash is out there, it's just the amount of volunteers maybe isn't picking up as much, or is that?
Yeah, it's a combination of everything. It's also amenities and resources from the agencies. This year we had the Forest Service kind of stepped up and they were able to get some additional funding for all the rec areas and the campgrounds. And then we've been kind of hitting it hard down around the town too ourselves with the volunteers and doing some outreach. I know a lot of the trash that we're seeing right now is mostly homeless related. So that's kind of our focus. We've been attending some meetings regarding the homeless situation in the Kern River Valley, trying to figure out how we can mitigate that issue that's going on down there right now.
Yeah, and those are homeless encampments, you're saying? Have you guys contacted the county's code compliance regarding that? Is it on private property?
Some of them are private property, some of them are federal. The federal ones are a little more, there's a whole process to that. The Forest Service has to come out, give them a 14-day warning, and then on 14 days, they have to move. Eventually, they're a lot smarter than the Forest Service, and they'll just hop 10 feet over to the next campsite and start a new 14-day period. And then if the campsite is abandoned, let's say they left or they were arrested or whatever, then the Forest Service has to leave that stuff out there for 30 days based on their protocol for them to come pick it up. And if they don't pick it up, then they'll send volunteers out to clean it up. So that takes a whole other thing. But on county related issues, it's a lot of it's on private lands, abandoned parcels, out of town owners. Those are where we're having the issues.
Okay. All right. Thanks for reporting that for us, Gary. Yeah, but I mean, I know 500 pounds you said is a decrease of what you guys normally pick up, but that's still a good amount. Okay. Any questions from the public or anybody on the call before we move forward? Okay, well, thank you all for your announcements. I'd like to move on to item number 8, some staff comments. So I do have a few comments to make. One being that, so Andrea Medina, she is no longer with the committee. She provided her letter of resignation, I believe in the beginning of September. And so we are currently working on filling that vacancy. And so she was a member as well, but Christopher McGehee, for example, is an alternate member for District 5. So we'll be looking to get that her position replaced as soon as possible. A vacancy notice was posted on our website as well as on in our PSC bulletin board. I know we do get assistance from the supervisors as they elect the committee members for these roles. So if I hear any further information, I'll provide an update on that. But we might not have any filling of this vacancy until closer to later this year. As I know, the District 3 vacancy is still open as well. So we currently have 8 active committee members, just as an update on that. And another item, I know in the past when talking about the sponsorship forms and reaching out to corporate partners, for example, I know had been brought up about a tax ID available. So our department, Keep Kern Beautiful does have a tax ID with Kern County Foundation. So I can provide that to you guys via email. I don't want to you guys have to feel like you have to write it down, the tax ID number, but I'll send an email out with the tax ID information so that you guys have that on hand if anybody has questions on that. And Linda, did you have a question?
Oh, no, I just gave you a thumbs up because that will be great with the letter that we're going to send out for fundraising if we could include that on there.
Oh, yeah, definitely. And also, I wanted to provide an update as far as the cleanup supplies. I know that in a couple of meetings ago, I believe it was at our August 17th meeting, the committee did approve the purchase of those cleanup supplies. So I'm working with the CAO manager as well as our accounting team just to confirm the purchasing process for that, being that the Kern County Foundation will need to write us a check, for example, in the amount that we are looking to purchase the items from. But the fact that we're making these purchases online via Amazon and Home Depot, we're going to have to figure out, paying that via our P card with the Department of Kern County Public Works, and then reimbursing it with the Kern County Foundation funds from our budget. So I'll provide an update to the committee on the status of that. But hopefully within the next few weeks, we can get those purchased and made available to the committee for you guys to use. And I know you had mentioned that graffiti cleanup happening in November, Linda, so hopefully maybe we'll have the supplies by then so that you can utilize those for that. And lastly, we are working on an annual report for the Keep America Beautiful. Since our Keep Kern Beautiful is an affiliate of the President's Circle, there's a few obligations that our committee needs to follow in order to stay in good standing. So we're going to be doing some reporting within the next several months, but Myra will be reaching out to the committee members to provide some assistance in gathering some information on past cleanup events as well as upcoming cleanup events so that we can report that on the Keep America Beautiful volunteer portal as well as our dashboard. So I just wanted to give each of you a heads up on that. Any questions from anyone on the call? Okay, do we have any comments from the public before we move on to item number 10? Okay, so our next regular meeting is going to be on Wednesday, November 16th. I have a mandatory training on that day within that time period. So I'm going to be reaching out to Daniel Harrison, our chair of the committee, to host the meeting, conduct the meeting. So that'll be happening on that date. And going forward, I'm hoping that, he will be the one kind of taking over and managing these committee meetings going forward. As far as Andrea Medina, she was the vice chairperson, so I'm going to have to speak with county council on about electing a new chairperson and the process that we need to follow in getting that position filled. So just wanted to provide that as an update. So okay, so moving forward, that's item number 11. If we can get a motion to adjourn today's meeting at 2:24 p.m.
I'll make a motion.
Okay, I heard a motion from Linda Martin. May I get a second?
Second, Sanders.
Thank you. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you. Any opposed? Okay, hearing none, we'll adjourn today's meeting at 2:24. And thank you for joining the call today, everyone. Have a great rest of the week.
Thank you.
Thank you.
You too. Bye-bye.
Yeah, I would just